Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
All of you are here. Should we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay, today we'll be dealing with the poem The Laburnum Top. Okay, you just pay
Yes.
attention. If you have the book, you can take it out. Okay, otherwise, you can listen because I'll be sharing the screen and you'll be seeing everything. Okay, clear? So, laburnum top. You know what is laburnum? Have you heard the name? Amaltash. Have you heard this name? Have you heard the name? In Hindi, it is called Amaltash. There are beautiful yellow flowers on it. You know, the seeds are poisonous, but the tree has beautiful yellow flowers. Okay, that is laburnum. You can see the photo here.
Ma'am.
Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, this is laburnum. Okay, this is laburnum. You must have seen it on the roadsides. There are many trees, laburnum trees with yellow, hanging yellow flowers. Beautiful. It is, it is also called the gold chains. Right? It's beautiful yellow color hanging flowers. And this bird you see here is the bird that we are going to read today. You know this bird? This bird is called goldfinch. Okay? It is also yellow in color. Okay? This is also yellow in color. So if you see yellow bird in amongst the yellow flowers, will it be visible? Yes or no?
Ma'am.
No, right. It won't be visible. Right? So, this poem is about the laburnum tree and the goldfinch bird. Okay? First, we'll read the poem. Okay? Pay attention to it. The laburnum top is silent, quite still in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all its seed fallen. Till the goldfinch comes with a quick chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement, and at a branch end. Then, sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt, she enters the thickness and a machine starts up. Of chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings. The whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of her family. She stocks it full, then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mask. Then, with airy delicate whistle chirrup whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. Did you notice that there is no rhyme scheme in the poem? Is there any rhyme scheme?
Ma'am.
No, there is no rhyme scheme. So the poem is without any rhyme scheme. There are the thoughts which have been expressed continuously. Okay, what the poet had seen. Okay, we see the first paragraph where the laburnum tree is described. It is a silent, quite still in the afternoon. The tree is silent. That means, what does it mean? The tree is silent. There is no wind, right? There is no wind. There is no rain. And that is why it is silent. Okay? If it would have been a windy day, you must have seen the trees moving, right? They shake. But it was not a windy day. It was very.
नहीं सब बंद करते हैं.
Yes, beta, Rishi. What did you say? What did you say? Anything that you have to share, Rishi? Okay. The laburnum top is silent because there is no wind, and it is September sunlight. That means it was a sunny day and it was September, and the leaves were yellowing and seeds have fallen. That means it was the autumn time. Okay, the leaves turn yellow during the autumn. Okay, it was the time when the leaves were falling. It was yellowing and it was falling. The seeds had fallen. So the laburnum top was full of flowers, but the leaves were also yellow. There were yellow flowers and yellow leaves. Okay, the color yellow is stressed upon. Can you see this? The color yellow is stressed. See, yellow here denotes so many things. We can see the yellow flowers. That means there is life. There is beauty in the flowers. Right? There is yellow sunlight. Okay? Yellow sunlight. Right? That means there is life. There is peace. There is silence. Okay? And then the leaves are also yellow. It also denotes the death. Because the leaves have turned yellow and they are falling. So yellow color is significantly used here, denoting three things. First is the life, which is denoted by the flowers. The second is silence, which is denoted by the yellow sunlight. And the third is death, which is denoted by the yellow leaves. Right? Okay. So can you tell me what three things were here? Yellow is signifying three things. Any one of you?
Yes, ma'am. The yellow flowers signifies life.
Very good.
The yellow sunlight signifies
Yes.
silence.
Silence.
Silence,
Yes.
and the yellow leaf signifies death.
Very good. Okay. So yellow color is prominently used here in three different contexts. Okay. Now we see that the laburnum tree is silent and suddenly the goldfinch comes. The bird, right? It comes. It is said that the laburnum top is silent till the goldfinch comes. That means till the bird comes. Okay. She comes with a twitching chirrup. Twitching is sudden chirrup. You hear the noise of the bird. It is called chirruping, right? That chirruping is sudden, and a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end. There is a suddenment, and the startlement is surprise at the end of the branch where the bird is sitting. The goldfinch is sitting, right? Then she moves as sleek as a lizard. Right? Right? Lizard. Why is the bird compared to a lizard? Why? Have you seen the movement of lizard? Ananta? Ananta? Aditya Bansal? Akhari? Have you seen the movement of a lizard? Ananta, switch off your mic if you're not speaking. Yes. How does a lizard move? Very cautiously, very slowly, until it reaches its prey, isn't it? So here the bird's movement is compared to that of a lizard, who is very alert, who is very abrupt, and then she enters the thickness. Thickness here refers to the bushes, the branches of the tree where her nest is. Okay, she enters into the thickness of the tree, she enters into the place where her nest is, and then a machine starts up. How does a machine start? If a machine starts, what do you hear?
Noise.
Yes, a lot of noise. When a machine starts, there is a lot of noise, right? So there is a lot of noise. Okay, what kind of noise do you expect here?
Pink.
Of whom?
Yes, ma'am. Bird.
Chirping of
Bird.
bird is there, and who would be chirping again more and more? Imagine, imagine she has entered into her nest. Okay,
And her children.
yes, young ones, right? The young ones of the birds, they would be there and they would start chirping. Here it is called chitterings, right? And a tremor of wings. Tremor means shaking of the wings. The small birds are there, baby birds are there. They are shaking their wings and they are chittering. They are making a noise, a very streak noise, right? And trillings is the quivering sound, the movement, sound of the movements. And the whole tree trembles and thrills. There is a thrill on the tree. Why? Because the whole tree is filled with the noise of the bird as well as the young ones. Okay, so the whole bird, the whole tree trembles and thrills. There is thrill not only in the young ones of the birds on seeing their mother, but on the tree also. The tree is also very happy. Okay, it is the engine of our family. The bird is called the engine of our family. Why? What is the function of an engine? If you have a car, what is the function of an engine? Yes, Vinayak.
Ma'am, to run the car.
Yes. Without engine, can you run the car?
No, ma'am.
Can you run the car without the engine?
No, ma'am.
No. So engine is the most important part of a machine. Any machine, right? The engine is very important. So she is the engine of her family. Okay? And then the poet says, she stokes it full. She stokes it. Stokes means you must have seen how in the earlier times the steam engine was stoked with coal, right? When you feed the fire of an engine, right? You must have seen the pictures or the films in which there was steam engine and lots of coal was stoked into that engine, into that fire. That is called stoking, right? Feeding. Here, stoking is stoking refers to feeding the children, feeding the baby birds. She stokes it full. She stokes the birds full, and then flirts out to a branch end, showing her barred face identity mark. She moves out with a speed. Flirts means moving out with a speed, and then she moves out of the nest. She moves out towards the end of the branch, right? She comes towards the end of the branch, showing her barred face identity mark. Barred face identity mark means her face. We have seen the bird which is yellow in color. Okay, the bird is sitting on the end of the branch between the leaves and the flowers, and the sun rays which are falling on the bird, it seems as if they are falling like bars. Right? It is difficult to identify the bird in a laburnum tree because the tree is also yellow and the bird is also yellow. Right? So it is difficult to identify the bird, but when she comes, the sun rays fall on the leaves and the flowers, and there is a shade which forms like bars on the face of the bird, and that is her identity mark. Right? Her face is her identity mark. Then, with airy, delicate whistle, chirrup, whispering, she launches away towards the infinite. And the airy means strange, right? There is a strange, delicate whistle. Okay, very strange, very chirruping sound, which is very strange, which is very, very delicate, and it is called whispering, right? Whispering because it is very slow, right? It is slow, and that is why it is called whispering, right? She moves away. She launches away. Launches is usually you launch what? Rockets. Yes, right? You launch rockets. So here she moves like a rocket. She moves away from there towards the infinite. Here infinite refers to sky. Okay, infinite is sky. So she launches away, she moves away, she goes away towards the sky. Why does she go away? Why does the bird go away?
To bring some food for her children.
Very good.
Means
Yes, for the baby birds, to bring food for the baby birds. Right? She brings, she feeds, and then she again goes to bring the food. And then what happens? And the laburnum subsides to empty. Now the laburnum again it subsides to emptiness, the silence which was there earlier. Right? It is empty. See, you can see the word meanings here, right? It subsides to empty. That means the laburnum top is silent again. So in the poem you can see three phases. Okay, the first phase where the laburnum top is silent, right? There is no wind. There is the leaves are yellow, the flowers are yellow, the seeds have fallen. Okay. The second paragraph, it is the main point here, right? Where there is lot of activities, right? Lots of activities because the goldfinch comes and feeds her young ones. It brings to life the tree, right? When the goldfinch comes, there is lots of noise. There are lots of chirpings. There is lot of tremor, trillings and chitterings and everything, right? So there is a thrill. There is a thrill not only in the young ones of the bird, but also on the laburnum tree. Okay, so both of them are thrilled. So there is life which is brought on the tree, and that is depicted in the second paragraph. And then the third paragraph again it is silent when the bird moves away. Okay, so these three stanza depict three different phases in the laburnum tree. Okay, so this poem it celebrates the energy and life of nature. Okay, so it is very important. We are celebrating the energy and life of nature. Nature here refers to the tree as well as the bird. Okay, so there is energy in the goldfinch, energy transmitted to the laburnum tree. Okay, keep this in mind. There is exchange of energy. Okay, the energy that the goldfinch had, it has been exchanged, it has been given to the laburnum tree. So laburnum tree is also full of energy after the arrival of the goldfinch. Okay, earlier it was silent, there was complete silence, there was sadness, but as soon as the goldfinch arrives, there is energy which has been transferred to the tree, right? The energy is also transferred from the young ones of the bird. Okay, okay, because they also start chittering and trembling, and there is tremor, right? So the young ones also convey the energy, transmit the energy to the tree. So tree comes to life. Okay, and in the third paragraph, when the bird moves out, the young ones are also quiet. You know why the young ones are quiet? You must have seen why the young ones are quiet when their mother is not at home. They need to be protected. If they start making the sound, they may be eaten up by other animals, right? So, to protect themselves, they don't make any noise. They are quiet, right? And when they are quiet, there is a silence on the laburnum tree, right? You can say this poem also tells you about the difference between the middle age and the youth. The middle age, which is depicted by the laburnum tree. It is quiet, silent, okay, standing still. It is the middle age. Whereas the youth, which is the bird, right, which is full of energy, full of life, and the youth transmitting its energy to the middle aged tree, right? Okay. Now you can discuss. I'll give you the literary devices which are used here. First is alliteration, right? Alliteration is, you know what is alliteration? Someone read it? Any one of you? Ansh?
Ma'am.
Yes, read it.
Yes, ma'am.
Read it.
Repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of two or more consecutive words.
Yes.
The instances of alliteration in the poem are as follows. September sunlight, tree trembles.
Okay, which word, which consonant is repeated
S.
in the first one, and second one?
T.
T in the second one, tree trembles.
Yes. You are aware with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Who will read it? Who's going to read?
Ma'am.
Okay.
Simile, comparison between the two things using like or as.
Yes.
Sleek as a lizard.
Very good. Comparison between two things using like or as, right? Sleek as a
Yes, ma'am.
lizard. The bird is compared to a lizard. Okay. Next.
Yes.
Next.
Metaphor and
Yes.
Metaphor and indirect comparison between two things. Generally, a quality is compared.
Yes.
She enters the thickness and a machine starts up. The noise created by the movement of the bird is compared to the machine's noise. It is the engine of her family, showing her bared face identity mask.
Barred face. Okay. Barred face. Like bars. Okay. Three metaphors are used. Okay. She enters the thickness and a machine starts up. The noise created by the bird, okay, when she enters into the thickness of the tree, that is compared to a machine's noise, right? Because not only her moving into the thickness, but also the noise of the young ones. They all start up like a machine. The noise is compared to machine. So directly machine is put there. Noise is not written. Okay. It seems like a machine starts up. So it is the indirect comparison between the machine and the noise or the movement created by the bird. Okay. Second is, it is the engine of her family. She is not like an engine. She is the engine of her family. That means she is the one who makes everything in the family. That means she brings to life the nest where her young ones are. That is why she is the engine. And showing her barred face identity mark. That is her identity. Her face is her identity, right? And that is why it is called barred face identity mask. Identity mask is here the barred face, right? The face which is having bars by the sunlight falling indirectly on her face. Seems like a mask. Next,
Personification. The
yes,
attribution of personal nature characteristics to someone non-human.
yes,
The whole tree trembles and thrills.
yes. Tree is non-living, right? Okay,
Yes,
tree
ma'am.
is non-living, but still we say that the whole tree trembles and thrills. It is excited. The tree is excited because there is so much of noise on the tree. There is life on the tree. The young ones and the bird move around, bringing life to the tree. Okay, next.
Transferred epithet.
Ah,
The figure of speech where the adverb is transferred to another noun. Her barred face identity mask.
very good. Here the adverb is a barred face, right? It is
Yes,
transferred
ma'am.
to noun. Her mask, identity mask. Okay, her face is her identity and it has been barred. That is, there are bars like falling from the sunlight. Okay,
Excuse me, ma'am. What is the meaning of that barred?
barred like bar. Bar, you know, there are bars in the prison, bars, rods,
Yes, ma'am.
and when the sunlight is falling through the leaves or the flowers, the bars are created on her face. It seems like it is her mask that she is wearing, right? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Yes,
Next
ma'am.
is you have to note down the sound words, right? Sound words are called onomatopoeia. Okay, the sound words are, read it.
The sound words twitching, chirrup, chitterings, trillings, whispering.
Okay, right? You have seen these words. You have the use of these words in the poem.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
problem here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next, the movement words.
The movement words comes, enters, starts up, flirts out, launches away, tremble, subside.
Okay, these are the movement words. You see the different words that are used for the same meaning, right? Okay, the sound. Okay, the sound, you can say the chirruping of the bird. You can use chirruping everywhere. But the chirruping of the bird is used in different ways. Chittering by the baby birds, whispering when the bird leaves the treetop, right? So it is the different words that are used. When it comes, it enters, it starts up, all these are movement. Then she launches away, right? So these words make you understand how the poet has used different words to make the poem rich, right? And the dominant
Yes,
color
ma'am.
in the poem is yellow.
Yellow.
Okay, yellow. I have told you yellow. Yellow is the use of yellow in three different contexts, right?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have any problem? The poem is written by Ted Hughes. You know anything about Ted Hughes? He was one of the greatest poets of his generation, right, in the 20th century. And he was also appointed as poet laureate. Poet laureate, you know, they are appointed, it is one of the highest acclaimed position that they hold. They are appointed by the British royal people, right? And you must not have read the poem by Sylvia Plath. He was the husband. Ted Hughes was husband of Sylvia Plath. Right? He has written many books, even for children. He has written. So he is very renowned British poet. Okay, and this poem tells you about the beautiful laburnum tree. If you have not seen the laburnum tree, you ask your parents what is amaltash. It is amaltash in Hindi, right? It's a beautiful tree, and if you move out of your house after the lockdown ends, right, you can see it on the roadsides, and there are beautiful yellow flowers. It is called the gold chain, and sometimes it is also called the gold rain because of the strings of flowers. It's beautiful tree. Okay, any problem in the poem?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, beta.
Ma'am, will you please explain transferred epithet again?
Transferred, see, when something passes from one thing to another. You must have studied the poem Lord Ullin's Daughter in standard 9. You were the one, did you study? Yes, you must have studied. Or no? See, when something transfers from one thing to another, giving its effect on the other, right? Suppose I say the stormy land. Land can be stormy or not. Storm is in the water, right? But when I say the land is stormy, that means there is some rift going on the land. There is some fight going on, or there is some confusion on the land, which will have its effect on the water. That is stormy land. Here, her barred face identity mark. That is the transferred epithet. Okay. Here, transferred epithet, you can say the face of her, face of the bird. Okay. She has a yellow face, and she is living in the yellow tree. Okay. So it becomes invisible, right? It becomes invisible in her in the yellow leaves of the tree, but only her striped face is visible. The colored stripes on her face, maybe because it is falling, the sunlight is falling on her face, and maybe there you can say there are some varieties of bird, goldfinch, which has stripes on her face. Okay, there are two possibilities here. One is there are birds which have stripes on their face, black stripes, and the other is the leaves or the leaves or the flowers which are uh, making the bars on the face of uh, the goldfinch, right? Whenever you see the light falling from something, coming from something, what happens? They are broken. They are not continuous. They are broken by the leaves or the flowers in between. So when it falls on her face, it seems like a bird mask. Okay. Anything else?
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Me, ma'am.
Anything else anyone of you want to ask?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the laburnum top is silent.
Yes.
Ma'am, it can be included in personification.
Yes. Yes. This is also personification. The laburnum top is silent. Right.
Okay, ma'am.
Silent. Right. Okay. This is also personification. because the tree has been personified. Trees are not silent, right? They are as it is.
Ma'am, likewise, the laburnum subsides to empty.
Of course, right? Of course. Okay,
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Okay. If you have any problem, you can ask now. Otherwise, we'll be ending the meeting. Okay. Okay, I'll be sending you the PDF. Okay.
Okay, and thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, thank you.
Okay.